Hey everybody, I hope everyone is doing well. We are finally back from the long break for How to Get Away with Murder. This is the remainder of the ending season, season 6. I don't remember the name of the description of the title, but it will be in the description and probably in the title. I hope this isn't your first time seeing me since the last time I did this review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to your girl. Again, y'all, we going through hard times. Subscribing and all that is absolutely free. Please show your support for me and my family by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel if you have not done so already. With that said, let's go. I'm a little late because I didn't even realize that How to Get Away with Murder was coming back this past week. No one told me. And I know it's been really crazy and I just kind of got wrapped up in a whole bunch of other stuff. But here we go, y'all. Let's get to it. The episode starts off with Annalise. She's in some dirty looking bathroom and she snatches off her wig, her lashes, and all that makeup and everything. I'm like, girl, you about to be looking rough. And then I think she even cut her hair because her fro was real little. Or maybe because she filmed this a while ago, because who knows when they actually filmed those scenes. So yeah, we see her doing that. And we also see the flashing in is Connor and Michaela getting processed. And they capping gowns and stuff and everything. And looking all hot and tired and just a mess. Like, y'all, they didn't make it to graduation because, as we already know, they have been accused of murdering Asher. And we all know that they did not murder Asher. But they're being accused of that. And it just looks like it's a big old frame job because they talking about they got evidence and they got Michaela's fingerprints on the poker that hit, and I'm like, she ain't even the one who hit him. Oliver did. But they have her prints on the murder weapon, and it was found, and all this, and blah, 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 whatever. So from there, which y'all, when she was getting all undressed and getting, taking off her makeup, it just gave me Power vibes of when Tasha was going to jail and stuff. It was a bit much. But anyway, from there, and y'all, all these flashbacks will be explained. We saw so many flashbacks throughout the beginning of the season. And now we'll have, an in-depth look of what was going on to lead up to these little tidbits and had left us on edge all beginning of the season. So it turns out Annalise is in what I believe Mexico. It looked like Mexico to me, but I ain't never been to Mexico. But it looked like. So it looked like she's in Mexico. She got her little tote bag or whatever, her little pulling bag, and she looking like a runaway slave. She looked hot and tired, and I guess she just got there, and she gets a text message on her new little phone that she got from them VIP people who helped her disappear or whatnot. I forgot what her new name is, like Juliet or some stuff, whatever. She gets a location to meet them or whoever she's supposed to be meeting at a cafe, so she's on her way there. And from there we see Bonnie and Frank or whatnot, and they finding out about Michaela and Connor being arrested for Asher's murder or whatnot. So they going trying to wait, no, we don't see that. We see them at Annalise's house because Annalise is nowhere to be found, and they calling her and they look and they see that the apartment is all ramshackle. But we already know that Annalise did that shit to look like it was a sign of a struggle, and she's been taken or whatnot, so she did that to her own apartment. So from there we see Connor's mom, and she's like, what's going on? What did Connor do now? And we see there was a part where Oliver was talking to the police officer, and he was like, my husband did not do this. You got to let him go. He didn't do this. And I got footage because we record everything. Because, they record everything that goes on in that house. And all he had to do was pull up the recordings and it wouldn't even match the time frame of when Asher was murdered and all the stuff that happened and everything. So he goes to pull it up and all of a sudden all that footage is gone. So it's definitely looking like a frame job. Somebody went in and erased somebody real good, because Oliver, of course, is a master hacker. He ain't gonna leave like that shit open like that. So they must have, and at this point we're looking, and it's looking like Xavier is behind this, or the Castillo family just in general, you know, Laurel's kinfolk are behind all this, trying to set them all up, or to take Annalise down and take them all down. So he pulls it up, and then Connor's mom walks in. She's like, my son didn't do, what did he do now? Was he just whatever? So she doesn't even know the charges. And then once she finds out the charges, she starts snapping out on Oliver, like, you do something, you're supposed to be a man, and blah, 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 or whatnot. Now Oliver looking crazy or whatnot. It's just a whole big old mess at the police station. And then, I don't know, before or after this, Frank come in and try to, you know, calm Oliver down, but Oliver about to lose his whole mind because his boot is locked up. And then Colliver, that's a good name for them. if y'all wouldn't call him Colliver, that's funny. But yeah, then Connor up in there having a panic attack, talking about he needs to go to the hospital because he can't breathe. And Michaela just sitting in the other interrogation room just looking hot, and they just waiting on what's to come. So from there, we see Tegan. Tegan is at Captain and Go, going to the office, and she's like, because remember, you know, all that shit got released about Annalise, the whole conspiracy theory, and how they trying to take her down, and how she's implicated for the murder of Frank, and all that shit came out the night before. And she's talking to Bonnie like, we need to counteract this and blah, 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 blah. They just trying to take her down. And she was like, no, we talk about Asher. She's like, what? We got time for that. This is more important. She's like, no, Asher is dead. She's like, what? And then she asked her about confronted her about her helping Laurel escape, because remember, we found out that it was Tegan's ass the whole time. Like, how you gonna let Annalise go off the deep end and drink like crazy and just go buck wild when you know you helped Laurel escape and leave? That was bogus. But anyway, she was like, I'm just gonna ask you, did you help Annalise escape too? She was like, no, I did not help her, and the only reason I helped Laurel is because she blackmailed me, and she told me that she was gonna tell her daddy that I was the mole, and that's in her father's situation if I did not help her and Christopher get the fuck on out of town. So that's why I didn't do it, because I wanted to do it, and I definitely didn't do it to hurt Annalise or anybody. So, and it wasn't my secret to tell. Yeah, if y'all want to be mad again, y'all need to be mad at Laurel because she's the one that left and didn't tell y'all. So from there, we see Gabriel. Gabriel and the feds are at his house. They're like, man, Gabriel, what the hell done happened over at your apartment building up in here? Gabriel like, I don't know what happened. Wasn't nobody talking to me. Ain't nobody talked to me since whatever it is. I don't know what happened to Asher. And then they like, well, you look kind of suspect, homie, because we had just told you all that stuff about Annalise and her part that she played in your father's death. And then all of a sudden, one of Keating's fives, and somebody he actually had beef with because of the whole Michaela thing, pops up dead in your hallway, but you ain't heard or seen nothing, homie. That don't even sound right. So he's like, I'm telling y'all, I ain't had shit to do with this. So they like, all right, whatever. Then we go and we see Bonnie and Tegan. They're going down to the police station to help out Michaela and Connor right now because they need a defense and everything. And then it jumps to 10 hours earlier when Asher was still alive and when he went to Bonnie's house. And he like, oh, she's like, Asher, what's going on? And then she see him all bloody. And Asher got that big ass gash in the back of his head, bleeding and shit. And then he was like, oh, I forgot what his excuse was, but he was like, yeah, I think this all has to do with, I forgot how he started, but then he just started talking about how I think they're all mad and stuff because, you know how Laurel, they got mad about the whole Laurel thing, and you know how mad Laurel was at you because you killed Miller in front of Christopher. And I'm thinking like, nigga, why is you bringing up crimes and shit like that, just saying them all willy-nilly for no reason? But we already know that Asher just trying to get information. I'm like, really? You sounding real sus right now, Asher. You just trying to throw it in conversation. You not even sounding genuine the way you sound. She was like, she didn't even say nothing. She was like, I think that you're like talking and confused. So you want me to make you some tea? Because you just sound a little crazy right now. Because she didn't say nothing. She did not confirm or nor deny. But she was like, let me make you some tea. And then she went and she immediately called Frank. And she was like, hey, Frank, Asher's here. He's like, so? And she was like, I think he's the mole. Because, you know, they've been trying to figure out who the mole was this whole time. And he was like, all right, I'll be there in a minute. Keep him there. And she like, all right, cool. So then when she walk up and she give him his little tea and whatnot, and he like, who was you talking to? She was like, oh, that's just Frank. I told him to come over here. She's like, ain't no point in us doing anything right now. Y'all graduating tomorrow. Let's just solve this shit tomorrow in the morning. Frank gonna come over here and he gonna take you home. And he was like, no, let's do this now. She's like, there's nothing we can do right now. He's like, I don't want to go to graduation. She was like, that's gonna look suspect if you just don't go see your own graduation. So just go home, regroup, and we'll talk about the shit in the morning. So from there, we see after that, because Frank comes or whatnot, and he goes home with, he's like, they were on shrooms and all this whatnot. Oh, and then it does show that Asher was looking at his phone and has been recording for I don't know how long, all his interactions with, you know, them from whatever, I don't know, he just been recording. And then Frank was like, all right, come on, you've been on the drugs and stuff. Remember, Ashley didn't actually take none of them shrooms, but according, you know, he was on shrooms. So let me just take you home. The last thing we need is you know, fucking up or getting fucked up because your head is messed up and you just need to go and you delusional. Let's just go. So she goes to take him home. And I was like, Frank, did you kill him? But I don't think he killed him. But I was just like, so at this point, Frank is the last person to be with Asher as of this point, but I haven't finished watching everything. So then we see Frank and goes up to Connor's mom and is like, oh, hey, I brought you some coffee. She was like, and you are? He's like, oh, remember we met at the Christmas party or whatnot last year with the kids. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she was like, he started talking about some stuff. And then she was like, this is just all. She started trying to blame everything on Annalise. And he's ever since the Annalise and him, they went after the governor. They've been in trouble and it's just all her fault. And he was like, yeah, we're just doing our best. She's like, what do you mean we? And then she kind of puts two and two together that he's like, you know, has ties to Annalise. And then she was like, get away from me or I'll scream right now. I'm like, girl, bitch, calm down. Whatever. I'm trying to help you. But anyway, so that was that. Then we see finally Michaela goes in and gets to talk to Tegan. Tegan finally gets to talk to Michaela in the interrogation room. And she's like, you know, I'm sorry. I know you, Asher meant something to you. And then she was like, but we got to figure this out. Let me just represent you and all that. And then she's like, yeah, well, Laurel meant a lot to me too. And then she was like, so now everybody mad at Tegan because they've been worried about Laurel being tied and chained up or dead somewhere with little baby Christopher, and Tegan been knowing that she's fine. So she was like, I know, but again, that wasn't my secret to tell. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at Laurel because she didn't tell y'all what her plans were or whatnot. But you need to let me represent you. You know I'm good at what I do, and we gonna get you out of this. And she also asked Michaela asked her, like, where did they find Asher? Where was he at? She was like, oh, he was, because Tegan was like, she had just came from the crime scene or whatnot. And then she was like, oh, where was that? And then she was like, you know, Asher's hallway or whatever by his apartment. So then it flicks over to oh no, then she was like, you know, it's clear that Xavier is behind all this shit and we just gotta fight back against, you know, Xavier because it's a big ass frame job. Yo Prince being on a poker. Meanwhile, that poker was from her house. My fingerprints on everything in my house too, so that's just like probable cause. Like, that's reasonable doubt right there. Like, she did have reason to kill him, but she would be the least likely to kill him out of everybody since they had a full-blown relationship for years. But anyway, then we see Bonnie and Oliver's little interrogation room thing. And then he's like, oh, I did it. Because, you know, Oliver then bust out and said that he did it. I killed them, having to going crazy and stuff. Because he did bust Asher upside the head and started the wound of the head. So from there, she's like, look, you didn't kill him. I seen he wasn't dead. He came, he talked to me, and I talked to him, and Frank talked to him. He's like, oh, so you guys saw him? So then Oliver tried to flip her real quick and try to accuse her and Frank or something of doing something to Asher. I'm like, you the one that hit him? They ain't touch him. He was already busted head by the time he got to him in the first place. But now, as soon as you got somebody else to blame, you gonna sit there like, oh, well, maybe I can't stand Oliver. I mean, Lord, he should have been dead a long time ago. Y'all, I just can't stand his character. He's just so annoying. And now he's trying up here, but people upside the head. Somebody should bust him upside the head. But anyway, he was trying to tell on everybody about stuff. Like, Oliver was never to be trusted to me. But anyway, but he got the hacking skills that they needed, but whatever. And then she was like, you need to sign these papers because your hearing is later on today, and for your bail, and I need to represent you, blah, blah, blah. So then we see it jumps to Tegan and Bonnie, and Tegan's like, okay, she says to Bonnie, Michaela said that she already had a lawyer. Bonnie was like, she got Oliver's signature because, you know, he don't know no damn body. But I was like, Michaela already got a lawyer. Who the fuck else a lawyer that she know who could get her out that was better than Tegan? So it jumps to Michaela. Who comes in to Michaela's rescue? Daddy Warbucks. You know, she done called her daddy after she done cussed him out and told him that she was going to be president without him. And she was going to do great things. And her black girl magic. And she flipped her hair and whatnot. And then hours later, she's accused of murder. So she called him real fast. So from there, she's like, I just didn't know who to call, Daddy. I didn't do this. He's like, girl, I think you did this. But we gonna get you out of this. I'm not gonna leave your side until you get out of this. And then homegirl, she played in a whole bunch of films back in the day. She's real funny lady who's playing her lawyer or whatnot. She's been in all types of movies and black sitcoms back in the day. But she still look nice. I know she got to be old by now. They all old now. At least in their like 40-something, 50s. But she look good. She going to be playing Michaela's lawyer or whatnot. Michaela's familiar with her and everything. So that's cool. And then from there, it jumps to Asher and Frank. It rewinds back to Asher and Frank. And Asher is talking to Frank in the car, and he was like, well, what if Annalise is the mole? What if she's the one that's behind this and woo this? And because, you know, and then he starts saying like, yeah, because Frank, you know, because you killed Mahoney and you did this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Asher, you must think people are dumb with a side of stupid. You just sitting here naming off crimes that people done committed and thinking people are going to be like, yeah, I know, right? I shouldn't have killed so-and-so. Like, how stupid do you think they are? Frank been killing people before you was born, for one. And you think he just going to say anything incriminating? And he was like, you just high off them shrooms. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. So from there, he's like, okay, let me just walk you upstairs because you got a concussion. The last thing we need is for you to fall down the stairs and kill yourself. I was like, Frank, are you going to kill him and make it look like he fell down the stairs? That would be convenient, but no. From there, it jumps, and then we see Frank is knocking at Nate's door. He was like, what you want? And then he was like, Asher's. He's like, it's about Asher. He's like, what about Asher? I don't care. He's like, you haven't heard? He's like, nah, Asher's dead. He's like, oh. And then he was like, well, what? Annalise and all this. And he was like, Annalise is gone. What do you mean she's missing? He's like, did you help her? And he was like, no. And then he was like, well, good luck with that. Like, he was unfazed. I'm like, dang. I know you didn't know Asher like that. Y'all were cool, but you know him for years. You could have been like, dang, that's fucked up. Like, I hate the way that they wrote Nate's character for the past, like, season. He just been whack and had his storyline kind of really sucked after he killed Miller and all that. It was just really bad. But anyway, I digress. And he told Nate to get the fuck away from his door and don't come back no more. From there, we're finally at the bail hearing. And we hear the defense. I don't know who Connor's lawyer is. Some bald head white dude. And Michaela and her daddy's lawyer. And then who else? Oliver got Bonnie. So they saying their defense, and Bonnie is trying to say, like, just because my client confessed, he just confessed to a murder because he's delusional and he on drugs right now, psychedelic drugs, and he is not in his right mind. You cannot take his confessions seriously, and there's no other evidence against him. We just want to, he should be released. And then the prosecutor came out and was like, no, we have other evidence. We have a voicemail from Asher right before he died. And then they played a voicemail, and it's Asher saying, like, hey, they just they know or something, or they just attacked me or some shit. And then it's like, and it was pinged right at their house, where Michaela, Connor, and all them live at. And then he said that he had been attacked or whatnot. And then she was like, for one, y'all know that cell phone towers don't ping from anybody's exact house location, so that's BS. And what else to say? So that should be thrown out too. So from there, everybody else out there said their defense, Michaela's defense, and all that other stuff. And then the judge was like, okay, can I say what I got to say now before y'all just keep talking? So she grants Oliver, she agrees. She's like, you don't have enough on Oliver, so I'm going to release him and drop the charges. But I am going to deny bail for Michaela Pratt and Connor. They're going to stay in jail until trial. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up. So then all of nowhere, Asher's sister like, they're all murderers. You killed my brother. He was good. He was going to tell on all of you. It was all your fault. I'm like, no, it's you and your bald headed mama fault for sitting here like accusing him or tricking him into, turning on them in the first place. He'd still be alive. You got him going around trying to dime his friends out and stuff. And where was y'all back? And plus, I'm sorry, Asher's hands were not clean. He had killed that one lady, and he killed helped kill Sam and all this other nonsense. So don't be sitting here trying to act like Asher was just this saint. Like, come on now, whatever. From there, we see what happened after that. We see it jumps back to Frank and Asher, because it doesn't show Frank leaving Asher. So then we see Frank walks him up to his house and into the apartment, and then he's like, all right, thanks. He's like, Frank like, no, I gotta use the bathroom. So he go in and use the bathroom, and then Frank goes into the toilet, the bowl, to look or get something, and then he looks, because I guess he has some stuff hidden in that apartment. And then under the floorboard of, under some cleaning supplies, he has something too. I couldn't make out what it was. If y'all saw it, leave it in the comments below. I couldn't make out what it was. And then he goes, and then Asher was looking at his phone real quick. And then Frank's like, what you expecting a call? And he's like, oh, no, I just wanted to see if anything else came out. And then Frank was like what? And it's just all dark and ominous. And he was like, I don't know, Asher, he looked like he was about to start crying. And I was like, what? And then Frank was like, look, you just need to calm down. Are you okay? He was like, I just don't know. We're just all going to go down for this and all that. And then he's like, I really just think I need a hug. And then Frank gave him a hug. And then he's like, Asher's like, I just want you to know that I never thought you were a bad guy and all the stuff that you did. I know you were trying to help us. And then Frank was still like, anyway, he was like, I never did anything besides be your friend, because you ain't gonna slip me up, homie. Asher just really was killing me this whole time. I was like, really though? So from there, Frank actually just goes and leaves. So we see that Frank did not, and I didn't think Frank killed him, because even Bonnie was like, you think we stupid? The worst thing to do would be to kill an FBI informant. Like, come on, man, that's dumb. So from there, oh, y'all getting hot for some reason. Whew. From there, we see Bonnie and Frank. They're talking outside the court hearing thing, and then he's like, "Oh, do we think that Nate helped Annalise escape or flee or whatever, and maybe he even helped Laurel. She was like, no, he didn't help Laurel disappear. And then it cuts off, and then it immediately shows, so we know from who it cuts off to Kaplan and Gold parking lot, and Frank's standing right in front of Tegan's car. So from there we get that Bonnie told on Tegan, and then she's like, oh, Bonnie told you. And then he's like, where are they? And then I'm like, Frank, let it go. We got bigger problems, bigger fish to fry right now. Leave Laura alone. She don't want to see you. She don't want you. Like, leave her alone. God damn. So she's like, look, I just gave Laura a contact of one of my friends in Mexico. He's like, oh, so she in Mexico? She's like, I don't know where she is. That's who I gave the contact. They set everything up. They did not tell me. And if I did know, I wouldn't want to tell you anyway. Do you want them mixed up in all this stuff and ending up like Asher because of fucking Castillo's? Like, just leave them alone. They safe. That's all. You should be happy. Now get on. Can I get some of my car before I have to spray you in the eye with some mace? Dang. So then he just let her go. From there, and then she was like, blame Laurel. She didn't tell you that she chose not to tell y'all, that she made a choice. So from there, it goes to the FBI are talking in a separate room. They're talking to Connor and lawyers and stuff, the FBI, and then they're talking to Michaela and her family in another room. And they were just jumping back and forth, back and forth. And first they're like, we can get you off from first they were like, here's the charges that we're going to have against you. And then here are can we finish that? And then they're like, oh, this is just BS or whatever. They was like, oh, can we finish the charges that we're going to be charging you with if this goes to court? They bust out with everybody that they done killed or anybody that they've been affiliated who killed or covered up, down to Miller, down to, what's that girl named? Rachel, the first one, down to Caleb. It was a big old deck of cards of murder, y'all. Like, it was like all the way leading to, or starting with, or stemming with the covering up of the murder and disembowelment or dismemberment of Sam Keating or whatnot. We gonna put you all those charges against you. And then, Connor and Michaela ain't stupid. Those are two of the better lawyers out of the Keating Five. And then she was like, y'all just trying to bully me into confessing to some stuff. This is some BS. And if there was really some charges or whatnot, the AUSA would be here to charge me. But these are all just BS, to scare tactics to get a false confession out of me. And that's what they always do, y'all. They just want to see people shake and all that and scare people into confessing to some shit. And they was like, well, you can be granted full immunity if you say that you were under the influence of the one, the only, Annalise Keating. And they was like, well, where is Annalise now? Why haven't y'all charged her with all this and all that? Well, she gone. We don't know where she at. But as soon as we find her, if you agree to go on trial and testify against her, then you will be granted immunity. And I think you only serve 5 years or whatnot, but you'll be released right now, and we'll let you go. And they tell them that they have until 5 o'clock that day to make a decision on whether or not they want to dime out everybody or Annalise. So I'm like, if one of them dimes out, does the other person's testify? Well, maybe they probably need more than just one student to tell on her. They probably need both of their testimonies to have a stronger case. Because Annalise, if they actually did bring her to trial, she could break just one person. No, you need more than that to take down a boss. So from there, we see. Oh, yeah, and then they were like, if you don't testify against her, y'all gonna stay in jail until your trial looking bogus. So make your decision by 5 o'clock, and we'll holler. All right, I will be back in 2 seconds, y'all, because I got to watch the rest of this episode. Okay, so it jumps to Asher listening to the recording or whatnot, and then he throws his phone, cracks his phone, breaks it, I guess. I threw my phone before and then it broke. His phone must be bogus. But anyway, then he started crying. So from there, we see Bonnie's house. She's answering the door. Who is it? It's Nate. He goes and he's like, is anybody else here? She's like, no. And he's like, did Frank do it or whatever? She was like, no, he didn't do it. What are you talking about? And if he would have did it, wouldn't they have arrested? Because he said that his friends at the PD know that Frank was the last one with him and drove him home. So if you think that if they thought he did it, don't you think that they would arrest him? And he's like, okay. So she was like, I thought you were done with all this anyway or whatnot. And then he was like, I said I was done with Annalise, and I guess he's just like, I still want to do what's right. And she's like, what's right? If you want to do what's right, why don't you turn yourself in for killing Miller? I chose you over him. I go over that shit every day in my head, and Buddhist. And then she was like, then I just don't like the way they wrote that, because then he started talking about oh, well, Miller, he could have stopped it or whatnot, but he was a coward. I'm like, dang, you done already beat the man to a bloody pulp. Now you want to talk bad about the man in his name. And he was about to get your father moved. I mean, he was a little crooked, but then he changed it. But still, like, I just don't like the way that was written. Anyway, so from there, he, so then from there, he's like, oh yeah, sorry about Asher. I'm like, ugh. But anyway, then we see Michaela talking to her father. She's asked her father, as far as the deal, what should I do? I don't know what to do. He's like, well, that's your decision to make. And then she was like, what would you do? It means a lot to me if you just told me, And then he was like, well, you got to look at this. He was like, I would take the deal, like, the lawyer advised you to do, or whatnot. He's like, but they're trying to say that, Annalise forced us to do this, and that's not true. He was like, well, I've known Annalise for a long time, and like she, all that clean anyway, or whatnot. And then he goes on to say, like, but then she's like, oh, what about Connor? What if Connor doesn't take? And then it's jumping again between Connor and Michaela. I'm gonna say Michaela's part first. And then he's like, as far as Connor, he was like, well, she's like, he's always had my back. What if he doesn't take the deal? Well, that'd be on him or whatnot. And you're my daughter. It's my time to be your father. And look at him. Who does he have supporting him? He has his husband, his two parents. He was like, you worried about this spoiled white boy or whatnot. And you know that they're not going to treat you the same when you guys are on trial. If you take this to trial, how do you think, seriously, you got to look at this. And I mean, it's true. It's sad, but it's true. She a black girl and she mixed up in this murder. And then she's, how are they going to look at you? And they'll probably be more lenient on Connor. And that is a sad but true thing depending on the jury. But most of the time, she's going to be the one to get a worse sentence than him. Then if she's found guilty, then he's like, she's like, I'm never going to be able to be a lawyer. He was like, Michaela, I didn't get to where I am, for nothing. He's like, if you take this, I will pay to get your file sealed. I got friends with the bar. We'll get you. You're going to be a lawyer, and you can just come back to California with me. You can change your name if you want to, and we can start over and whatnot. And he's like, I wasn't there to be your father. Let me be your father now, and I'm telling you, I'm going to take care of you. So then it goes off on Michaela.